Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. Quick video here. I don't know if you guys have heard of this little story, and it just came across my attention just 5-10 minutes ago. Apparently, there's a lady over at Harvard. I don't know which fruitcake let this woman Laura Simone Lewis into their PhD program to. It's more. It's not so much that whole thing. Uh, it's yeah. Well, just look up Laura Simone Lewis at Harvard, and you'll see what I'm talking about. She's a PhD. She's a grad student that's involved in some kind of organization to. Anyway, so this lady Carole Hooven, in one of her, I don't know, something she said, she used the term. Get this. She used the term women instead of pregnant people. It was something she had written. And this PhD candidate, Laura Simone Lewis, who considers herself, amongst other things, as part of her supposed gender, a freaking mermaid. A mermaid. If somebody came up to you and said they were a vampire or a unicorn, and they were serious, they weren't just way into the fantasy thing. So you guys have probably heard me talk about fantasy, creatures and stuff. I love fantasy. No, but this person was serious. But there are people that believe they're vampires or whatever else that really don't think about that whole thing in terms of, yeah, I'm going to, I'm not even thinking about this whole thing in terms of because it's the whole LGBTQ thing. LGB, the LGB guys almost seem normal. Well, but just everyday people. Even some aspects of being a transvestite. Or queer. I mean, it's the weirdest folks to me, the absolute weirdest folks, in a way, seem to be people that don't think that they're human. So I've heard of stories of people that think they're dogs, or something like that, like animals or fantasy creatures, or uh, to me, that even seems far infinitely more loopy and weird in a way than just you're attracted to the same sex, or you um, don't think you change genders or whatever. I mean, to me, that it's like it's just bizarre. It's freaking bizarre. It's the definition of unnatural. It makes my skin crawl in a way. But this is a very different thing than you just get caught up in fantasy so much that you think that you're a mermaid. But people that think they're mermaids, many people, yet they don't. There's often sometimes kind of a limit. There's a limit to that whole psychology, I would think, at least when it comes to singling out another woman for using the term woman instead of pregnant people. I'm going to back up here a little bit with this whole thing, I suppose. Because I trying to got a few different angles of the story from. So, any scholarly paper, anything from academia, when a person uses the term man or woman, or male and female, to me, or anything like that. Boy, girl, heck, also gay, lesbian. All these terms. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Right. I think we're taught, well, we just know. From the moment my very first years of life, I'm like, oh, that's a woman, that's a man. And you're looking at, even the signs in a restroom. You see the person in a dress, on the bathroom door, it's a woman. You see the person with the pants, well, that's a man. You're with the parents, you're having dinner somewhere, fast food or a restaurant, a diner, some diner with my mom, and like a little boy, I'm like, oh, that's a mom, that's a mommy, that's a lady, and that's a man, that's a boy, that's a girl. Right? We all went through that. It doesn't matter if we all went through that whole thing. If you're a transvestite, or if you change genders or whatever at some point, or you are lesbian or gay or whatever, we all have a concept, or we all have an understanding of what a man is, I would think, and a woman. So do we even have to ask the question of what a man is and what a woman is? No. A man is from birth, right? A man has both X and Y chromosomes. He has a penis. Well, he is a boy, and boys will grow into men. Unless they decide not to be a man, I suppose, but that's up to them, I guess. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is a boy. Boys have penises, girls have vaginas. A girl has a vagina. A girl has two X's in their chromosomes. XX. So let's repeat this, shall we? A boy, or a male, or man, has an X and a Y chromosome. Right? We have more testosterone. I don't know why. It's just a part of being a man. A woman has two X chromosomes. XX. Right? A little bit more estrogen. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it great to have male and female? Well, anyway. And then you have everything else. I don't know. So, that's all fine and good, I suppose. I don't know. It's just that there is a problem with singling out somebody in a paper for using the term woman. Why is that a problem? Well, it's because that's just one of the basics of life. It's kind of like saying, I'm offended by the term spinach. I don't believe we should have spinach. Or I'm offended by the term oxygen. I think actually Oprah Winfrey's TV station needs to change their name. Oxygen is offensive for some silly reason. It's a word that means something. And what it means is something quite vital to the world and to our understanding of everything. Male and female. Those are absolutes, folks. I mean, those terms are here to stay. They're not going away. If they even have if there's even a shred of a hinting that those words should go away, I just want the Savior to come again. I'm going to put it that way. We are ripe for destruction. This world is so unbelievably evil to just have somebody who uses the term woman, and somehow that's supposedly offensive to somebody. How is the term woman offensive? Can anybody tell me that? If I already I'm just talking about whatever, and I use the term woman, there is an instance where I've realized, oh, maybe this isn't the nicest thing to say. I mean, if you are just talking to somebody you know, and they are female, right, and they are indeed a woman, and you call them up, you go, woman, hey woman, instead of their name. Well, that's not so nice, right? we all understand that, right? That's just, we just don't do that, right? Of course. Of course. So, I don't mind it if someone calls me a man, but nobody ever says man. People say, hey dude, hey dude. That's probably, but I just don't worry about those things. anyway, um, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. This is the craziest part of all this stuff. The faculty at Harvard are actually supportive of this fruitcake who thinks she's a mermaid. Yeah, Simone Lewis. Now, because her middle name is Simone, when people are looking up this topic, they're probably going to get this mixed up with Simone Biles. Folks, this has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with Simone Biles. This is that chick over at Harvard. Okay, so I wanted to clarify that. Okay, we'll get to all that other stuff later. If we. Yeah. So I want it known. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's the U.S. government. It doesn't matter if it's academia. It doesn't matter if it's a private company. It doesn't matter who or what it is. I am never, ever, ever going to change the way that I think about gender. Ever. But the LGBTQ community, they can do what they want to do. I have no beef with them. I mean, it's nothing personal. They can exist if they want to exist. They can do what they want to do. That's whatever. But I'm going to continue to refer to men as men and women as women. Period. And for anyone to suggest those terms are offensive, to me, that person's going straight to hell, in my opinion. Do you know why? Why do you guys think that is? Why would I feel so adamantly about that and then kind of want to take it easy on the LGBTQ folks? Well, it kind of goes like this. If we're just talking about families and the sacredness of the family and having kids and stuff in the way that things are done traditionally, man and woman, married, so, I mean, that's the way you have kids that come into the world. Generally involves a man and woman on some level, right? Okay. And then everybody else that's doing all the other stuff is whatever. There's a real issue, I think, with regard to the creation of life not involving, in someone's mind of view, a man and a woman. Like the idea of creating human life in a test tube. That's, to me, the very definition of evil. The very definition of evil. Why is it so evil? Well, it's because you're messing with the way that the Lord intended life to start. The way that life is to be for babies, for kids growing up. You're messing with that. And even in the case of you have two parents, same gender, well, the kid was still born from a man and woman, and they adopted the kid, probably, as far as I could tell. And I mean, it's different, but at least it's something, and it's anyway, I think that's my piece here. It's like some folks don't really understand just how evil that whole thing is. To single out somebody for using the term woman as if it's a bad thing, or referring to women as women. Women are women. Men are men. What the heck? It's... How is that offensive? I still... As though it were to be offensive to somebody who's neither of those things? A mermaid is still a woman, because the word maid refers to a woman. It's a female. A merman is a man. Why am I even addressing this at this point? We're talking about fantasy creatures that don't exist in this world. Of course I know about the Little Mermaid. I think merfolk are great. Awesome. If somebody wants to be a merman or a mermaid, okay, great. I think there was that one movie with Daryl Hannah and was it Tom Hanks or something? Splash. I loved it. It was great. I'm just saying, even people that consider themselves to be a mermaid probably don't get offended at the term woman. It's just so... Ah, my gosh. Can you guys fathom how wrong this is? One would never think that this is actually seriously being considered in academia, but it is. And it makes Harvard look like a complete joke when they actually entertain this woman. Look, I don't know if you're talking about China, the whole Middle East, for crying out loud, all of Islam, a good chunk of Europe probably too, South America, Central America, the whole inner area of the United States, a huge chunk of the United States and Canada, a lot of Canada too. Sure, Alaska, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, India. Vast majority of the world's looking at this and they're just laughing. They're laughing at Harvard. They're laughing at Harvard because Harvard is taking this Lewis woman seriously. Okay, so these people at Harvard are supposed to be some of the smartest people on the face of the earth, some of the most professional, some of the most well-respected people in their professions, and they're defending a woman that has a problem with the word woman, who considers herself to be a mermaid. The world has gone mad. Leave me thoughts, comments below. Catch you later. Take care. Bye.